Hey, Coach. One of the things that I've been talking about in these series of YouTube videos that I created was how, as a head coach, I leveraged my time, my staff, my team, my recruiting systems, how my coaching model, all that kind of stuff. And in this video, I want to share with you some different things that I did process-wise that really helped simplify what I was doing day by day. This helped train new assistant coaches faster. This helped set a standard for how we were working together as a group. This helped, bring on new people faster. It just, there's so many things that it did. So I want to share this with you in this video. Well, if you've heard me speak at all, you know that I'm constantly referencing Legos. And my most favorite thing about Lego is the instruction manual. I love that even my kids, they're, with how old they are right now, I love that they can start at number one and go through the entire manual as long as they can find the pieces and have the picture look like it does on the box, right? There's no way that that could happen without an instruction manual. And as soon as that occurred to me that, you know what, I can do the same thing with my day-by-day processes with recruiting and with my operations, with, running the program. I had this one experience where as the head coach, I had delegated organizing an on-campus visit to my assistant coaches. Well, they weren't there. And while I was familiar with it because I had done it as an assistant, I hadn't done it in a while. And so I was left scrambling, trying to find different things in different folders. I wasn't sure who to contact, when to contact them, what's the form, all the stuff, right? It took me 3 times longer than it really should have, and it wasn't done well. Well, that night, again, the Work the System book was my light bulb moment where, I'd been thinking this is a good idea. I just don't have the time to figure it out. Well, that became my moment of needing to figure it out, right? Is I took that, all the stuff that I had done that day, I wrote it down. And then when my assistant coaches got back, we sat down and figured out what I had forgotten, put all the documents in one place, created a master to-do list and hyperlinked everything. So everything was all there. We then, with everything out on paper, we evaluated it from a quality perspective. Again, could somebody off the street, like my kids, open up a Lego instruction manual and start at the beginning and work their way to the end and have it look exactly like we need it to look? You know what I'm saying? So we did that with all of our stuff. And just to use recruiting as an example, we made a process map of how we were going to work through recruiting, and then broke it down into the individual pieces and figured out, what do we need to do? Where are we emailing? Where are we calling? What are we asking? At each step of the process, we figured out where we were losing kids so we could optimize, right? And tweak how we were currently doing things so we could keep the recruiting process moving along. We created a map. We created a step-by-step, trying to figure out how were we currently action-wise, what were the little micro commitments that we could ask recruits to take to keep getting little yeses from them? Because I believe if we can get little yeses from them all throughout, it's easier to get the big yes at the end, right? But we were losing kids at the beginning, and had we not made a process map of these types of things, it never would occur to us that we needed to adjust some of the things that we were doing. We made little adjustments, and man, it just got us unstuck, and like the floodgates open for a lot of other positive things to happen. But that one process, right? And just evaluating how we were doing the things we were doing and setting a standard, and sticking to that standard, it just kept things moving along. We organized, we tried to stay as organized as we could, knowing that we were a staff that had multiple coaches talking to the same kids throughout the entire process, but we were losing a lot of time, and it was really hard to keep track of who was doing what or what the recruits had done up to that point. So we just created a simple Excel spreadsheet, and just every time they took an action with us, they just got a little X. Each new conversation that coaches were getting on with these recruits, they knew we set the objective of, look at this Excel sheet, see what they have not done yet, and then, ask them to do the next little thing. That kept us organized as a staff, but it also eventually we started to see patterns. We started to see, the kids who kept doing the things we were asking them to do rose to the top. We started to really kind of key in on where we were losing kids, which helped us move the recruiting a lot faster and get the ultimate goal that we were trying to establish was who can we get to commit on these visits? And a lot of times this sheet helped us to see who was more likely to based on, the actions that they were taking with us. Then, we simplified our communication where we, instead of treating each recruit individually, we batch them together and talked about one topic for the month to keep it simple. So then we didn't have to remember who had said what or what we had already shared with them. We just focused on the theme for the month. It really simplified things. We created a step-by-step process for how we were going to do it, had it written down, and we pulled this out every single month. We were about to create content. This is the process we went through. It made it so simple. It made it so quick. It made it so we didn't forget anything. It made it so anybody on our staff that was there that month could do it because of how we had it set up. And then another thing that we did process-wise is we just started to recognize we are answering the same questions over and over and over again. Why not? And instead of recreating each email from scratch, we created a frequently asked questions folder. And so we would write the question, or we would type out the answer to that question really well once, and then save it in a frequently asked questions folder. Now, anytime that question came up, now we could just pull from the folder. Now, again, any new assistant could get up to speed much faster with how we say and do things. We could now take that one piece, we could turn it into an email, we could turn it into a social media post. It gave us phone call talking points. We could now use the content to, sell to parents. I mean, all sorts of things came from the one process, right? Or just recognizing where is a repeatable process that we are going to use over and over again. That's where it was the light bulb moment for us as to where we need to create systems. So I hope that helps. Just a few different ideas of ways that you can use process to leverage your time, staff, energy, resources, recruiting, all that stuff to get better results in a shorter amount of time. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or you want to have me dig into this with you more, please just reach out, Mandy at busy.coach. Would love to help.